First of all, Chairman and organizer, I will express sincere thanks for giving an opportunity to present our recent work. Today, I'd like to talk on the function of a biological function of molecular hydrogen. I'm afraid most audience are not so familiar with the function of biological function of molecular hydrogen. Molecular hydrogen is H2, and this is simplest. And recently, hydrogen shows exhibit various kind of functions for the therapy for the acute disease and the prevention for the chronic disease. Also, hydrogen contributes to sports and health promotion and beauty. And recently, Chinese group found function on higher plant that may induce agricultural revolution. As a background, I will briefly mention on antioxidant. As excess reactive oxygens damage our cells, strong antioxidants were expected to improve our health. However, the recent publications indicate that excess antioxidant supplement could be harmful. Why? And the loss with physical loss should not be completely reduced because when oxygen reacts with electron, reactive oxygen species are produced and converted into more strong reactive oxygen species. Finally, hydroxy radical are generated, which is the strongest oxidant. By the strongest oxidant activity, the cells are damaged, but superoxide and hydrogen peroxide function as a cellular signals. So we try to find the ideal antioxidant that does not completely remove functional loss. Finally, we could find the hydrogen reactor with only hydroxy radical or peroxynitrite, but neither with superoxide, hydrogen peroxide, nor NO, suggesting no adverse effect or little adverse effect. This photograph shows the selective reduction of reactive oxygen species by hydrogen in culture cells. We stimulate the culture cell with a mitochondrial electron transport inhibitor, antimycin A, to induce excess loss in the presence of or absence of hydrogen in the culture medium, and visualize each loss with specific fluorescence dyes. And there's no difference, and there's no difference, and there's no difference. But this photograph shows that hydrogen decreases only hydroxy radicals. We published the first paper on Nature Medicine in 2007. Recently, about 400 papers has followed our paper. Hydrogen is a simple H2 and equal hydrogen gas. The number of the publication on hydrogen medicine is increasing. Importantly, more than 10 papers on clinical studies have been published. First of all, please remember that hydrogen is not so dangerous. Under 4%, there is no possibility of neither flammability nor explosion. 1 to 4% is sufficient for medical application, so it is not so dangerous for the medical application. As a good characteristic of hydrogen is so small to penetrate biomembranes to reach various regions inside cells. Rapid diffusion is critical in cellular viscous environment. Moreover, gas molecules dissolve in hydrophilic and hydrophobic solutions. And this slide illustrates the cells. Although hydrophilic antioxidants cannot penetrate membranes, and hydrophobic antioxidants are retained on membranes. In contrast, hydrogen can penetrate biomembranes and reach various regions inside cells, has an advantage to scavenge loss. Let's just summarize the advantage of hydrogen. First, hydrogen does not reduce physiologically important loss, selective reduction. Hydrogen can distribute into cells and organs by rapid diffusion. Hydrogen produces water after the reducing loss, thus resulting in no toxicity of its end product. Also, it is no possibility of no accumulation and no excess ingestion. This suggests a little adverse effect. And hydrogen can be ingested various methods. The simplest method is the inhalation of hydrogen gas. And it is convenient to ingest hydrogen by drinking hydrogen water. Hydrogen can be dissolved up to 0.8 millimolar into water, so we can drink hydrogen by drinking water. Or another method, the injection of hydrogen saline, or we can take a hydrogen bath. And hydrogen can penetrate skin and saturate within 7 minutes. First of all, I want to show hydrogen's effect to ischemic reperfusion injuries. For example, cerebral infarction, myocardial infarction, and cardiopulmonary arrest resuscitation. When blood inhaled hydrogen gas, hydrogen can be detected in blood in a dose-dependent manner. Moreover, we can see the difference between artery and venous blood. This means hydrogen can be used in the body. This is a dose-dependent manner. When we use the acute rat model in which oxidative stress damage was induced in the brain by focal ischemia and reperfusion, the inhalation of 2% hydrogen gas mildly suppressed brain injury by buffering the effect of oxidative stress. This is staining for living cells. So this region is a dead cell, and we can see the clear difference after 1 day. Also, hydrogen improves the neurological scores and body temperature and body weight. Based on the result, currently, double-blind clinical studies on brain infarction are under investigation. The patient scale is about 50 patients in double-blind experiment, double-blind studies. We also saw the manifestation effect on myocardial infarction model. And also, double-blind clinical studies are under investigation. We can see the clear difference between in the presence of the absence of hydrogen. Recently, last year, we showed that the hydrogen inhalation during resuscitation improved neurological outcome in a rat model for the cardiac arrest. Experiment proposed as follows. This is cardiac arrest and then resuscitation, and followed by the 2 hours, and then increase the temperature for 4 hours, and then after 7 days, we can see the parameter. And in this case, this is a control, and the rat inhales the hydrogen gas here, and this is a targeted thermal management. That is a combination of targeted thermal management and inhalation of hydrogen gas. So in the thermal management, the temperature decreased at 33 degrees centigrade. This is a Kaplan-Meier analysis of survival at 7 days after return of spontaneous circulation. This is a control, and this is a line. This shows inhalation of hydrogen gas and thermal management. We can see the additive effect of hydrogen gas and thermal management. Moreover, this figure shows the effect of hydrogen and temperature, thermal temperature management on motor activity and spatial memory at 7 days after cardiac arrest. And we can see the improvement after the inhalation of hydrogen gas, more than temperature management. And also we can see the additive effect by inhalation of hydrogen gas and temperature management. Right now, until now, we applied 5 patients with cardiac arrest, and 4 patients was improved, and that paper is under submission. And also, hydrogen decrease pro-inflammatory cytokine, IL-6, after 2 hours. But temperature management, there's no decrease after 2 hours. So hydrogen must have benefit. We are moving on the other topics on effect of drinking hydrogen water. Hydrogen can be dissolved up to 0.8 millimole under 1 atom, atmospheric temperature, pressure. Hydrogen is not used into protein in water, and hydrogen water is neutral. Safety of hydrogen water has been approved in Japan and USA glass for drinking. And recently, United and Japanese market is growing up to $200 or to $300 million. And recently, a company started to sell the hydrogen water in United States from this August, just like. And this shows hydrogen, molecular hydrogen is a product against Parkinson's disease. This model was produced by injection of 6-hydroxydopamine, one side of brain. And pre-treatment of hydrogen water, it looks normal. And also after the treatment of 6-hydroxydopamine, also hydrogen water was effective. At first, a professor did not believe this result and repeated 4 times, but all the experiments were reproduced. And then afterwards, Juntendo University started a clinical examination by double-blind experiment and also placebo-controlled trials. After application of 1 liter hydrogen water to 1 patient for 1 week, there was improvement as judged by the clinical scores. In addition to antioxidative effect, we found hydrogen exhibit anti-inflammation and anti-allergy. And also, hydrogen stimulates energy metabolism. As the obesity and diabetic model, we use the DBDB mouse, which is a mutant mouse that cannot regulate appetite and eat too much diet, and then obesity and diabetes were induced. And we found hydrogen stimulates energy metabolism via the regulation of gene expression. The mice that drank hydrogen water looked slim. Even when mice ate the same amount of diet, the body fat was decreased by drinking hydrogen water. And also blood glucose and blood insulin and triglycerides were decreased. Moreover, hydrogen water suppresses the accumulation of hepatic fat, as judged of oil red staining. Hydrogen stimulates energy metabolism as judged of oxygen inspiration and CO2 expiration. This line indicates mice and that drank hydrogen water, and this is a control. We can see the clear difference. And also we can measure the gene expression, and at first PGC1 alpha was induced and then followed by the various kinds of enzyme gene expression involved in fatty acid metabolism. And long-term drinking hydrogen water degrades triglycerides and extend the lifespan. In wild-type mice with high-fat diet, that is a mice survival curve with high-fat diet, plus hydrogen water. This is performed by Chinese group for the hydrogen water applied to the candidate of metabolic syndrome for 10 weeks. And there is clear decrease in total cholesterol and LDL, and also decrease of oxidative LDL and inflammatory cytokine. And in the patient, I'm sorry, but this is a really busy slide. And this slide shows a positive result in animal experiment. Red letter indicates a disease in which the result of clinical studies have been published. And the brown letters indicate the disease in which the clinical studies are under investigation or under submission of the paper. And you can see the clear difference: metabolic syndrome and ischemic perfusion injuries, neurological disorders, inflammation, and exercise, and mitochondrial disease, and side effects of cancer therapies. Hydrogen exhibits multiple functions to improve the various kinds of disease. This is an acute disease, this is a chronic disease, and this is a lifestyle diseases. The other effects obtained animal experiment as follows: asthma, atopic, bed score, burn, and so on, hypertension, osteoporosis, cataract, so many things. Moreover, in Chinese group, hydrogen improves the growth of plants. And in the presence of salt, NaCl, the plants cannot grow well, but in the presence of hydrogen water, the plants can grow well. So finally, I summarize the advantage of hydrogen. Hydrogen is beneficial to acute and chronic disease in most organs with multiple functions with little adverse effect with excellent effect. This is my group. Thank you for your attention.